Hello, my name is Mark Troyer and I'm the Senior Director of the Solutions Consulting Team in the EMEA region at LastPass. Welcome to this micro demonstration focused on the LastPass end user experience. In this demonstration, we'll show you how to set up and use the Android LastPass app. We will start off by installing the LastPass app from the Android Play Store. Following this, we'll log into our secure LastPass Business Vault and then configure a few critical Android settings. We will then demonstrate how to use the autofill feature on an Android app and on a Chrome web page. Let's go ahead and get started. The smartphone for this micro demonstration is a Samsung S10 with Android version 11, often referred to as Red Velvet Cake. To begin, let's open up the Android Play Store and search for the LastPass application. In my case, the first app that pops up is the LastPass Password Manager. The current release is 5.11.1 as of the beginning of September 2022. Once we have installed the LastPass app on our Android device, we will need to log in and then make two Android configuration setting changes. These changes are related to the Android autofill configuration setting options. At a high level, there are two mechanisms for allowing the applications to autofill in Android. One is through the legacy accessibility settings, and the other is through the autofill feature introduced in the so-called Android Oreo or the version 9 release in mid-2017. Both of these are required for the best user experience with LastPass on an Android smartphone. Before we do this, let's start up LastPass and log into our LastPass business account. In this case, our account is federated, so once we enter in our email address, the password field will disappear and we will be required to log into our identity provider. In this case, it's Okta. As we can see, we are now looking at our secure LastPass vault on our Android smartphone. We will now configure our Android smartphone to allow autofill to function with both of these LastPass mechanisms. Let's start off by clicking on the hamburger menu, that's the icon with the three lines, in the upper left-hand corner. We will then enter the settings area in the lower left-hand corner. In the settings area, we will click on the autofill menu option. We can now see options for both the Android Oreo and the legacy autofill settings. Both are currently disabled and we will want to enable them. Let's start off with the Android Oreo autofill option by moving the slider to on. We are immediately presented with instructions to make changes to the Android autofill settings to enable LastPass as an application. It should be noted that each release of Android is different and the directions presented in the LastPass app should be taken in spirit and not word for word or pixel for pixel. The user interface may look slightly differently from what is presented depending on your smartphone's Android release level. Pressing Next, we are presented with potential autofill applications that can be enabled. Of course, we will click on the LastPass application and then confirm that this app is trusted. At this point, the Android smartphone is properly configured to allow for the Android Oreo autofill mechanism. Let's now enable the legacy accessibility autofill settings for LastPass. As before, we simply need to move the slider to on. We then have to agree to the accessibility permissions for autofill. At this point, we are presented with several instructions telling us to enable LastPass as an installed service for legacy accessibility. By clicking on OK, we can then select the Installed Services menu option where we will see that LastPass is currently disabled. We can enable it by clicking on the menu option. We will then need to click both options to on, confirming the enable confirmations. Moving backwards, we can now see that LastPass is fully enabled with the Android autofill feature for both Android Oreo and the legacy accessibility mechanism. Let's go back to our vault and continue with the demonstration. As we can now see, we are now looking at our secure LastPass vault and we can see 4 items. If we click on one of them, we can see the same menu options that we are normally presented when we are using LastPass on a Windows PC or a Mac. So we are now logged into LastPass with all of the autofill settings enabled. Let's start up an Android application and test the autofill feature. In this case, we will start up the Dropbox application. We are immediately prompted to log in. Once we place focus on the email field, LastPass will prompt us to use our Dropbox credentials from our secure vault. The email address and password will be autofilled, and we are now signed into the application. Now let's go to the Chrome browser and log into the same Dropbox application, but through the Dropbox.com website. Once we enter the login webpage in Chrome, we can see that LastPass has autofilled the email and password fields. We can now simply sign in. So we have demonstrated the end user experience for LastPass on an Android device. We can see how easy it is to sign into both Android apps and websites from the Chrome browser using the Android LastPass app. Well, that brings us to the end of this micro demonstration. In this short demonstration, we installed and configured the Android LastPass app with the autofill settings. We then showed the autofill feature for both Android apps and for web pages accessed through the Chrome browser. Please watch our other micro demonstration videos to learn about the many other features that are available in LastPass Business. This is Mark Troyer, and this marks the end of this short micro demonstration.